Ladies and gents, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. It is, of course, Friday, January 7th, 2022, and this is the official rundown for AEW Battle of the Belts 2022, which of course is streaming live on TNT tomorrow, Saturday, January 8th, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We got a lot of news and rumors to talk about as well. Not too many matches on the show, but we're going to dissect and go over them in depth. I am not alone here. Back here on the channel for the first time in, I believe almost a year, I would say. Probably about 11 months. He's my man from Indianapolis. He is the DJ Storms Posse member, lifelong wrestling fan. Please help me welcome back to the channel for the first time with this new format, this new split-screen StreamYard format. Please help me welcome Lil Stevie. Bro, how you doing?
What's up, my man? Thanks for having me back on the show. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there, man. I'm hanging in there. I'm pretty much at the tail end of the COVID files of the DJ Storms YouTube channel. I've been stuck at home for the last 2 weeks, but I've been hanging in there. I've been getting some stuff done. I've been relaxing, sleeping in. I've been enjoying this little vacation that I've been on. I'm certainly not complaining, and I am getting ready to go back to work. Getting ready to go back to work next Monday. But first things first, we got Battle of the Belts. That is going to be tomorrow. And we got a lot to go over, I would say. A lot to go over, I would say, in terms of news and rumors as well, where the superstars on the card could very well go after the show is over. But first things first, before we get into what we're going to get into, where can people find you on social media?
I'm not really a big social media guy, but if you want to follow me on Twitter, I don't tweet, but I think it's Little Stevie 317, I believe. And then my Instagram is King_Seth3, which again, I don't really post like that, but if you want to go see my beautiful face all over the web, you can go to Instagram and find me there.
Oh, you getting cocky now? Oh, you getting cocky now?
Man, women love me, man. You know this. It's a thing.
Fair enough. You know what? We need that right there. We need that cocky aspect here on the DJ Storms channel. I mean, like I'm as cocky as can be, but we need someone else with that same type of cockiness. I like that. You know, I like.
I'm as cocky as anybody else. You know.
I see you. But you can follow me on social media at @the_DJ_Storms on Twitter and Instagram. That is @the_DJ_Storms on Twitter and Instagram. Add me on Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, if you want to go check out the rewind for WWE Day 1 with Mr. Earl Cole, that is over 100 views right now. Me and him, we dissected everything that went down last Saturday on Peacock. Not an overly terrible show. I've certainly seen much worse, but it was very lackluster, rather disappointing. If you want me and Earl Cole's thoughts on that, you can go check that out right now. I believe I put the link in the description. Please make sure you hit that like button if you have not already done so. Hit that like button. Me and Stevie are live right now on YouTube.com. So if you come on and you got to hit that fucking like button, it is vital. And of course, share the stream out on all platforms, social media, whatever social media platform that you use. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and TikTok, and Pinterest, and Tumblr. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, I mean, bro, it's the best time to be on YouTube. Because it's the only time you get in this glorious sideburn shin strap combo. This beautiful mustache right there. You know everybody wants a piece of me, bro. Everybody wants a piece of me. But we gonna get right into the festivities here. No more self-brand promotion advertisements. First things first, I want to get your thoughts on the build towards Battle of the Belts. I understand this is the first TNT special that they got. They're doing one of these every single quarter on Saturday night. And I got to be honest with you, it's been very lackluster. I understand why. Because they have to build up the first episode of Dynamite on TBS as something big. They got to build it up as something must see. They really got to build it up as something that everyone's going to want to go out and watch. And they did. They did. Like, the show was a very good show. They built it up. They had 3 title matches on the show. So listen, I understand why, but if they were going to do this Dynamite special on TBS, they should have pushed back the TNT special. Maybe it was a TNT initiative to have this show on the first week of 2022, and they wanted to have this big week where we had Dynamite, Rampage, and the special, so that way everyone will go out of their way to watch these shows, and maybe they wanted to build it up and make everyone known that, hey, AEW is going to have a big year, if you know what I mean. But it was really lackluster. It was very, very lackluster. I don't know. What were your thoughts on the build towards Battle of the Belts?
I feel like AEW, I feel like it is lackluster. I give you that. But I feel like since it's only 2 matches, they were in the positions to feel like it's Britt and Riho, right?
Yes.
Riho and then Cody and Sammy. And I feel like they're at the point where both of those feuds that if you're invested, you're invested. If you're not, you're not. There's not really much they can do on either side that can get you more invested in either feud, in my opinion, honestly. Like I'm invested in the Cody stuff. I know you're probably invested in the Cody stuff. So, and most people are. So no matter what he does, people are going to tune in to see what he does. So they already got views just off of Cody being on the card alone. And Britt, everybody loves Britt. So people go tune in and see what Britt does as well. And Riho, people love Riho as well. I give her credit. So they go and tune in and see what she does. So I feel like they already have the views there. So then you have to really, they want to put more emphasis on the TBS show than here. Okay, they were like, okay, we already have the views on TNT here with the Battle of the Belts. Let's make sure everybody knows that we're here to stay on TBS and we're about to give them a great show with a great build up and a great feud. And they did. Like they succeeded. And I think Battle of the Belts is gonna be a great show as well. So I'm ready. I'm ready.
I feel as though it was probably a little lackluster, mainly because TNT only made it like an hour. I don't think it's gonna stay an hour forever. I don't think it's gonna stay an hour forever. I do believe that this is probably like a test run for TNT, and this is a test run with these Saturday shows. And maybe after this year, at the next batch of shows come next year, maybe they expand it to 2 hours. Maybe they do a 2-hour show at the next special come April, because we're going to see 4 of these a year. We're going to see one in January. We'll probably see one in April. We'll probably see one in July. And then we'll probably see one in October, I believe. And that those are going to be the 4 shows that are going to be in between the big 4 pay-per-views. These are going to be like mini pay-per-views in a sense. I understand what they're doing right there, but I don't know. I feel as though they could have gone about this a little better. I feel as though if they wanted to, they probably could have put another title match on the show. Maybe they could have moved the tag team title match to Battle of the Belts. Maybe they could have put something else in that position on the TBS Dynamite debut. Maybe they could have put a bigger feud on the show. Maybe they could have put something like maybe a CM Punk versus a Wardlow. Maybe they could have put Andrade and Darby on that show. Maybe they might be saving that for Revolution, but that's just me. But yeah, it has been lackluster to me. I get what you're saying, but considering this is like the first ever special that they're doing, even if it is an hour. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure it's going to be a very good show. But even though it was an hour, I feel as though they could have put a little bit more effort into it. But we'll be going over the matches and what could possibly come out of these matches. But we got a couple of news reports to dissect. Number one, actually, Cassidy Haynes of Bodyslam.net. He's actually been very, very good with the news reports as of lately. He reported that Jon Moxley is actually expected back on AEW television like this week. Do you think we could possibly see him at Battle of the Belts tomorrow?
I honestly could. I could see him coming out and challenging the Cody. That'd be a good match for him and Cody. John can lose because he's John Moxley. He can lose and still be over. And I feel like John Moxley will push Cody to do more hillish things to get him to win and be like, it's Cody turn. You know what I'm saying? Like John is not somebody you just can't just beat clean. Like you have to use some type of dirty tactic to beat him. And Cody's got this heel turn. So I expect John Moxley to be at Battle of the Belts. I expect him to challenge Cody. And I expect Cody to further his heel turn by doing some heelish things to beat John.
Do you see John Moxley actually coming back and challenging Hangman? Because if you remember, John Moxley was supposed to be in that AEW World Title Eliminator tournament. Matter of fact, he was supposed to win the tournament. He was supposed to beat Bryan Danielson, and he was actually supposed to be in Bryan Danielson's position to actually get Hangman over as a babyface. Moxley was supposed to be the top heel in that program with Hangman. So could you see John Moxley potentially coming back, possibly getting a few more wins under his belt, and he could possibly be a challenger for Hangman before Hangman inevitably loses that title to MJF come Double or Nothing?
See, the thing about John, you gotta realize is he's very versatile. You can use him in any situation, any feud, anything to get somebody over or to further any storyline, to further any championship. You can use him because he's just that good. So you can use him with Cody. You can use him with Hangman. I would personally more like him to do the Cody thing just because I feel you need to get more focus on the TNT champion as well as Cody. Because right now, everybody's interested in Cody. Everybody loves Hangman, but to me, Cody's the most interesting character on TV at the moment just because we don't know what he's doing. We don't know when he's going to turn heel, if he's even going to turn heel. We don't know anything. We just, wherever they want us to see, that's what we see. So I feel like to open up more doors and open up more intrigue, I feel like John Moxley with Cody makes a little bit more sense. I don't know what to do with Hangman at the moment. Like you said, John Moxley would be a great go-to, but I feel like it's a lot of other guys who needs a moment, if that makes sense, who you can go in. You can throw a mirror out there. I know he's hurt, but eventually you can throw a mirror out there. You can throw a
How about an Adam Cole?
You could throw Adam Cole out there. I expect Adam Cole.
I think that's going to be the main event for Revolution.
Yeah,
Adam Cole and Adam Page.
It's just a lot of guys you can throw out there you can get a lot more guys over at the moment instead of just throwing Moxley back out there at the moment where you can do other stuff with him, if that makes sense.
Oh, no, it does. So, I just wanted to get your stance on what you think is the best possible scenario to put Moxley in when he inevitably comes back.
Hey,
now,
that was great.
Yeah, I mean, we could very well not see John Moxley at Battle of the Belts. I personally think that it would make Battle of the Belts feel a little bit more important, considering they haven't really hyped it up, and a surprise return from John Moxley would be a scenario where, oh my God, you gotta go out and you gotta watch Battle of the Belts. You gotta watch these specials. That's what I was thinking. But we could very well see John Moxley not return at all. Maybe he returns at Beach Break, which is going to be my segue, actually, because Tony Khan announced that on January 26th, this is the Wednesday before the Royal Rumble, they're bringing back Beach Break. They're bringing back Beach Break. It's going to be in Cleveland, Ohio, on January 26th. That's going to be a special Dynamite episode. Now, here's a question that I know a lot of people were thinking of, and I was actually thinking of this as well. I actually quote tweeted said tweet with a GIF of a certain guy from Cleveland, Ohio. You may know him by the name of Johnny Gargano, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, man, but considering Gargano's a free agent and Tony Khan, he has been teasing some more surprises. He did tease a dream signing. It could either be Jeff Hardy or Wyndham. That's my take on the dream signing. But with Cleveland, Ohio being the home for Beach Break, I don't know about you, but it really seems like the absolute perfect time to introduce AEW to Johnny Wrestling. I don't know. What about you?
I love Johnny. That would be the perfect place to introduce him if he does come. But I personally would like him in Impact just because it's not because I'm an Impact shield or I want a lot of people to go to Impact and not AEW. It's not that. It's the fact that I feel like Wyndham is coming in. I feel like Keith Lee is another new coming in. And it's just other guys coming in. I feel like he can get lost kind of in the shovel because they still got to push Black. They still got to push Andre, who really hasn't been pushed, but he's going to be pushed soon. Darby, MJF. It's just Warlow. He's starting to, I feel like they're starting to push him in a different. It's just a lot of guys who are going to be given a spotlight. And I don't know where he kind of fits in. I mean, of course, he fits in. Like, he's Johnny Gargano. He can fit in anywhere. But I feel like he would get lost in the shovel. And I feel like Impact's more of the better place just because he can be in the main event. And there's guys who he can build up and turn the house down where he can build up Ace Austin. He can build up Chris Bay. You got Jonah down there. Jonah's really great. He can have matches with Moose. Matt Cordona's having the best run of his life. Like, it's just a lot of guys he can go there with and build up, and he can build Impact up and make it more get more eyes on it, if that makes sense.
Oh no, I get that. You see, you mentioned Impact Wrestling, and I don't really want to get off topic, but you saw what EC3, Killer Cross, and Braun Strowman are actually doing right now. They got this faction going on called Control Your Narrative, and I'm not gonna lie, they actually look very good together.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you, but I think that 2022 could possibly be a breakout year for those three individuals. Could you see Impact possibly swooping them up? Because I know that there's a lot of talent in AEW, but considering that you were mentioning Impact, I don't know about you. I think Impact would really benefit from those three guys,
Yeah, I already
considering the
thought.
characters that they have.
Yeah, I already thought Braun was going to Impact. I thought that as soon as he got released, if he wasn't going back to WWE, he was going to go to Impact. That's just the best place for him. EC3, he can go back home. Karrion Cross is kind of iffy just because how he left Impact, but I feel like if he comes in with the right people and with the right attitude, maybe they give him a chance again. But yeah, that'd be a good sign for Impact. I expect him also sign Johnny Impact himself, John Morrison. I expect him to go back.
Yeah.
It's just Impact. I expect 2022 to be a great year for Impact. But yeah, I would love that'd be a great signing. Them three would be a great signing.
I actually heard that Hard to Kill is actually tomorrow as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I will be
Hard to
watching.
Kill is also. So, moving on to actually another signing that was actually confirmed, and you mentioned that AEW was kind of signing a lot of people. Jake Atlas was actually signed to AEW this week. Now, here's what I had going through my mind. I understand that a lot of people think that there are too many people that are being signed to AEW. This isn't necessarily the motive of Tony Khan to take everybody. See, what I know about Tony Khan is that he wants the professional wrestling industry to thrive. He is not a guy that wants to monopolize everything. Vince wants to monopolize everything, but Tony Khan, what he wants to do and what he's trying to do is he's not only aiding his own company, but he's aiding the people that are employed by his company. Because what you have here is a company with Tony Khan in which he's going to bring people in to help boost their name value. And everyone's going to look at said individual and say, oh, they're a part of the second biggest wrestling promotion in the world. And then after a 3-year deal, if they don't want to stay, or if Tony Khan is not seeing a return on an investment, they could not resign, but they could go back to the independent scene, and more people will be willing to offer deals quick to them because they have that tenured under their belt as an employee of the second biggest wrestling promotion in the world, and more promotions would want to hire them. So Tony Khan is not only helping his own company, he's helping the individuals like a Jake Atlas. I don't see Jake Atlas staying in AEW for the next 10, 15 years. He's having a 3-year deal, and Tony Khan's looking to help Jake Atlas with his career. So he signs Jake Atlas, and then after his contract is up, Jake Atlas can go back to the independent scene, and more people will want to hire him because he was employed by AEW. He has that name value. Now, of course, he did get injured. I hope it's not too serious. It was a knee injury, I believe. We're going to see how he got injured tonight, actually. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it's not too serious. Ray Phoenix, that was a big scare by Ray Phoenix there, but he's going to be good, actually. No broken bones, just very badly dislocated. He's only going to be out like a month, I heard. So
What?
that's good. It was no broken bones. That's
No
what I heard.
broken bones.
So he made it out lucky. Yeah, I was luck, dude.
That's
Just badly dislocated. He's only out a month.
His arm was literally.
Yeah, it was backwards. It was backwards. His arm was fucking. It was like dead chicken wing, dude.
Because what happened at first was I'm watching the TV and I saw it, but I didn't see his arm go backwards at first on the first take. Like I just saw the table spot and
Neither did I.
I didn't see his arm.
I
but
saw
then
the replay and like,
I kept looking over. He kept like point at it. So I'm like, did he break his arm? I mean, he had to break his arm because it's not moving. And then they showed the replay. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's nasty.
But he didn't. No broken bones. He actually said no broken bones. It was just a dislocation. So, dude, he made it out lucky there. Major luck. But Jake Atlas, he did hurt his knee. Hopefully it's not too serious. Hopefully he'll only be out like 2 months or so. But that's my take on the Jake Atlas signing. What's your take on the Jake Atlas signing?
I don't like Jake Atlas. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I don't care. I don't like Jake. I don't really, but he's not horrible in the ring. I don't really remember his mic skills, but he's not horrible in the ring. He has room for improvement. I think it is going to be a 3-year deal, but I feel like every company needs a helping hand, a good hand. They need that jobber who's really good at their job, but they know, hey, you're just a jobber. And they don't really have that, in my opinion. I mean, they have guys who can do that, but like they have guys out there who they're going to lose, like a Kip Sabian. Kip is going to lose. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a lot of guys there who, like, it's hard to. They don't really have that glorified jobber. And I'm not saying Jake Atlas can be that glorified jobber, but if he shows improvement in these 3 years, I feel like he can get a long-term deal just because he can be that glorified jobber, that guy who can beat guys like Aaron Solo and little guys like that. But when he goes against Adam Cole's and Miro's and Bryan Danielson's and guys like that and Blacks, then he loses. But he gives them a great match because he's a jobber, but he's a glorified jobber. He's like a Dolph Ziggler. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know what you're saying. He's like a guy that can give you a great match and can help others get over, and he'll get over in a great match, but he's not going to win. I understand what you're saying right there. But
I don't think they really have that in AEW at the moment, because the guys who are big guys like Miro and Lance Archer. Those are guys who should be higher up, but they play that glorified jobber role because they don't have that guy, and that's not fair.
Miro ain't a glorified jobber, dude. His TNT title reign
he's not a glorified jobber, but at the start of, you know what I'm trying to say, like he's that guy that they'll throw out there to have a great match, but I know that he's going to lose. Like Lance Archer, he's that guy who he's going to have a great match, and he should win, but he's going to lose to get the other guy over who's more ahead of him at the moment, and that's not Miro. Miro's a beast. He needs to be at the top of the card. So I feel like that's where Jake Atlas comes in, and he's that glorified jobber, that guy who can give you a great match but don't go anywhere.
I feel as though it's definitely going to be a waiting game for someone like a Jake Atlas. That's why I wouldn't mind Johnny Gargano coming in, because again, like I said, Tony Khan's looking to help out everyone and boost the name value of other people so that way they could get jobs on the independent scene. He wants everyone to thrive in the wrestling world. That's my personal take on the Jake Atlas situation.
Yeah.
But we got Jake Atlas being signed. We'll see where he goes. We'll see what he can do with Adam Cole tonight. I'm actually interested to see where he does fit in. Hopefully, things actually do improve for Jake Atlas. Tony Nese is signed as well. We'll see where Tony Nese goes as well. But those are the big reports going down with AEW as we speak right now. And another report actually just broke. I believe Courtney Holland, she actually said in the chat that Cody actually tested positive for COVID-19, so he's not going to be on the show tonight. Now, if that's the case, What can you see them doing? What are they going to put in place of that? Can you see them inserting Ricky Starks in there? Apparently, we could possibly get an FTW World title match between Starks and Dante Martin. Do we see Jade Cargill defend the TBS Championship? Do we see Hangman make a special appearance and do an open challenge, and then maybe Jon Moxley returns then? What can you see in place of the TNT Championship match?
I don't think we do the Jon Moxley coming out with Hangman just because I feel like if you do that, that's a feud you build over to a pay-per-view. That's a pay-per-view main event. Like a pay-per-view main event. That's where you hold off on that. So I wouldn't do that one. Let's see.
Well, can you see Hangman defending the title on the show at all?
I can, but I don't know if they will let him do that just because he had an all-out war with Brian Wednesday. So I don't know if they'll let him do that. I'm trying to think of, because me personally, I would have had 3 matches on this card. I would have had somebody else. I would have had like not like a loser's bracket, but like a loser bracket. Like the losers going to a different bracket, have a match, and the winner of that match faces Jade or the winner of the TBS champion at Battle of the Belt. That's what I would have done personally. So we could have a little bit more intrigue at that. And we could have had women go in there and do that. But I think Jade does defend the championship tonight. I feel like they throw her out there because her match wasn't that good with Ruby. It wasn't that good, if we're being fair. It wasn't that great. So I feel like, and she sees that, AEW sees that because they're on social media heavy. So I feel like they're going to give her one more big match. Maybe, I don't even, maybe
Chris
would you say,
Statlander?
would you say Hirsch? Because since she's a heel
Maybe
now,
I was thinking Chris Statlander.
Statlander can do a great job as well. Oh, I don't really want to see Red Velvet again.
You're going to have to put her in the ring with someone like a Chris Statlander because Chris Statlander is one of the best that they have in that division. And that right there is really going to be a match that kind of helps Jade evolve. Because
But
again, right now, Jade was the wrong winner. We'll get that out of the way. She was clearly the wrong winner. I understand you have a long-term plan to push Jade, and she's going to get better. I would give her 2 to 3 more years. I understand that you have heavy investment in her, but she was not ready from an in-ring standpoint to be the TBS Women's Champion. I don't know where they go. I'd like to hope that maybe Tony Khan's going to make the best out of a bad booking situation. I'm not sure if Jade does defend the title. We could see that. I would actually, you know what I love to see? Scorpio Sky is in the top 5 rankings right now. If Cody can't defend the TNT Championship, I would love to see Paige go out of his way to do an open challenge, and Scorpio Sky, who's in the top 5 rankings, he can come out and get an opportunity at Paige, and we could see what Scorpio Sky can do against Adam Hangman Page. I think that would be a very nice interim feud for Page in the meantime, and it really solidifies his championship title reign and gets him another successful title defense under his belt.
okay, 2 things. One, instead of that, would you do Sky versus Sammy and winner goes face Cody when he comes back?
That's not necessarily a bad idea. I definitely would not mind that. Who would you have go over there?
I want to say Sammy because I like him, but I feel like Scorpio needs it a little bit more, and that can give Men of the Year something to do. That can get them a nice little because that can main event a Dynamite, so that can give them a nice little main event spot. That can give Scorpio Scott a nice little push because he really hasn't really done much. Like he's done stuff. Like don't get it wrong. Like he's done what he needs to do, but he's not over enough yet. And he needs a little bit. He needs bigger wins to solidify him as a top guy. I think he is a top guy. I think once everything fades out, he can be a top guy. He can be TNT champion easily. Like he's really good. He's really good. But right now he really has to have many big wins under his belt. And I feel like beating Sammy after Sammy just got done with the TNT run, I feel like that'd be a big win for him. I'll go Sky.
So here's actually an interesting question. With Men of the Year and how good they've been and how they've really come into their own with Dan Lambert, can you see Men of the Year potentially taking the titles off of Jurassic Express? Does Jurassic Express defend the championships? And do they put forth a decree in which they are going to be workhorse champions? Do you see Jurassic Express defending the title belts in an open challenge?
I think the tag team champions, they're all gonna go into that work rate type of build, just because that's what Jurassic Express are. That's all they love to work. So I feel like that's what we're all going with it. But I don't think Man of the Year beat them for the belts. I love Man of the Year. I know you love Man of the Year. I don't think they're
I do.
ready for the belts yet. If I'm being honest, I don't think they're just ready. Dan Lambert's great. He's done wonders with this group, wonders, and he makes them even more of a heel than they are. But I don't think they're ready just yet for that tag. They're going to be tag champions eventually if they keep up this tag team with. I don't know what John Alexander does. We gotta see what happens there with the North and stuff like that. But if they stay at tag team, they will be tag champions. I give them that. But at the moment, I don't think they're ready. I would give it to Powerful. I would give it to Santino Ortiz. That's who I would go for. But yeah, I don't think Man of the Year ready. But I wouldn't mind a tag team championship match. They have a lot of ways they can go with it. They can actually add 2 matches, because if it was only 2 matches, it was going to be a long main event. Just add 2 matches, and one little decent match, and then one great main event, and then we got a pretty good show. But it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what they do.
It's not a bad strategy whatsoever. It's not a bad strategy whatsoever. I do think that things have really taken a little bit of a sideways turn, considering Cody's apparently not going to be on the show. If he is going to be on the show, then I would absolutely have Cody retain the championship over Sammy Guevara. I would like to assume that we'll get this TNT title match probably a few weeks down the line, either on a Dynamite or a Rampage, and then we will inevitably see Cody go over Sammy Guevara again. It's definitely going to be an interesting scenario. One thing that this presents is a very, very, very. I'm channeling my inner Andre Chase here. It's a teachable moment for Tony Khan, because when someone goes down like this, Tony Khan is always he's always in a position in which he can insert someone into the spot that is going to be they're going to be a suitable replacement, if you know what I mean. When
Yeah,
Moxley went down, he inserted Miro and nobody fucking complained, because Miro is just that good at what he does and he's credible in the position that he's given. So what it ultimately comes down to is, what is he going to do? Now, I would personally love to see Starks versus Martin for the FTW World
that'd be
Championship,
good too.
just because of the simple fact that I love Ricky Starks, and I think that Ricky Starks and Dante Martin, they could absolutely steal the fucking show. Absolutely steal the fucking show right there. If you give them like 15 minutes to open the show, that would be an excellent fucking open to Battle of the Belts. It would be perfect. Picture perfect stuff
I
right there.
give them
But
25.
it's definitely going to be interesting.
If that's the match, I give them 20,
Well,
25 minutes.
you have to remember something. It's only a 1-hour show.
Yeah, but it's only 2 matches.
Well, I don't know if they do
Britt's not
3
going to go
matches.
30 minutes. I don't think she has the endurance and the move versatility to go 30 plus minutes in the match with Riho. I just don't think she does. I think it might go 28, 27, but I don't think it'll go like 30 plus.
Oh no, it's not. But I'm booking it in a scenario in which it's going to be 3 matches. I think it should have been 3
Yeah,
matches.
I thought it was going to be 3. I don't know why it's 2, but if it's 2, I feel like they should give. If it is Ricky Starks and Dante Martin, those are 2 guys who can actually really go and have an endurance box. Give them a nice 20, 25 minutes. Get the crowd nice and hot for Britt and Riho, and they can go there 27, 28 minutes, and then that's like you have a little couple not promo packages, couple hype up matches, you hype up, commercials like, oh, this
Dynamite.
will be on
How about
Dynamite.
Dynamite?
Yeah, that's the show. That's what I would do personally.
So the main event is, like we just touched upon, Britt Baker versus Riho.
Mhm.
Now, I don't mind this being the main event. Like we said, it really does fit into the narrative that they're pushing with Britt Baker, and the fact that Britt Baker has really become the mainstream star of the women's division, and she's been the one to give the women more opportunities before we inevitably see her lose the championship. I've been loving Britt Baker's title reign. It's been fantastic in every sense of the imagination. Now, what we have here, what we have here is a scenario in which Britt Baker's never beaten Riho. They're telling that story in which Britt Baker is going to have to overcome the one woman that she's never beaten in singles competition, and the fact that Riho has seemed to have Britt Baker's number. It's a scenario where they're trying to make it a little bit unpredictable, but we all know where the road is leading to with Britt Baker, at least with me, because I still think it's going to be Thunder Rosa. All roads have been leading towards Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. Don't get me wrong, Britt Baker's had great matches. The Ty Conti match, that was a great match at Full Gear. Ty Conti really surprised a lot of people there. But um, what they're doing here is they're really trying to give Baker as many opponents as they possibly can before we inevitably get Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa. I don't see this ending any other way other than Britt Baker retaining the women's championship.
Oh yeah.
It would make no sense for Riho to win the championship. I think Riho is really going to be slotted into the TBS championship title division. She could very well be one of the opponents for Jade Cargill, because Jade Cargill, like, you gave the championship to Jade Cargill. You're going to have to figure out some way to try and salvage her championship title reign, even though she's not ready. You're not just going to take the title off her after 2 months. That would pretty much be admitting failure. It was a bad decision, but you have to attempt to try and make her title reign something of substance. So I think Riho would probably be a good opponent to put up against Jade Cargill, hopefully to give her somewhat of a decent contest and actually help Jade improve, because she needs to get her timing down correctly. She's not bad on the microphone. She's got the look. Some of her moves are very impactful, but she's just very slow in the ring. She'll
Hmm.
get better. She'll get better, but she's going to have to get put in there with the top stars in order to get better, to see how she favors against someone like a Riho or a Chris Statlander. But I don't really see Riho winning the championship. It would make no sense. Britt Baker is the right woman to win this match. I can see this going a solid 15-20 minutes. These two women are very good in the ring. They know how to work. Britt Baker retains, and we inevitably get the Thunder Rosa match at Revolution. It could very well main event the show if they want to, but I know you had a different idea in mind. We were talking before we went live, and I actually want to hear this. So please go in depth on where you think Britt Baker and Riho go after this match.
Okay, so this is what I think. Okay, I, everybody thinks that not Ruby, Rosa is going to beat Britt, and that's what I thought for the longest as well. I'm not gonna lie, but if you really watch the show week in and week out, Britt goes out of her way to pick on Ruby, just out of her way to pick on Ruby, and Rosa's into it with Mercedes Martinez and Jay Cargill, so that's a few right there. So my this is my thing. This is what I think is gonna happen. I think Rose is going to beat Jade. I think Rose is and is going to be the first person to beat Jade for the TBS championship. I don't know how they get to that because I don't want Jade to have a short feud, a short title run. But I feel like she's gonna have to face Martinez at first, and I feel like she's just gonna have to run through the rankings. Give Jade a cool little 5-6 months. That's not a bad title run for your first time. She's not ready.
Double or Nothing seems like the date to take it off of her.
Yeah,
Double or
she's not.
Nothing.
Yeah, she's not ready. So you don't have to give her a year plus because she's not ready for that. But she's a woman you want to build for the future. So you have to give her at least 4 to 6. So I would give her a solid 5-6 months. Get her a nice little run in, build Rosa up to take that title off her at a good pay per view. I think Soho beats Britt. I think Soho's a bigger star than Rosa at this point. I think not more star, but more over with the fame. I think she's a way better heel. I mean, better face. I'm sorry, way better face. I think I think Ruby's loved. Nobody hates her. Nobody. So I feel like she's been pressed down by WWE for so long that I feel like at a big pay per view, probably at Revolution, I would do it. If you have her go over Britt, I feel like it would just be her moment. You know what I'm saying? Like her moment that she's actually made it. It will push her over as to be a main star, and then it would give that women's division a huge adrenaline shot. Because think about it, I love Britt, but Ruby's way better in the ring. So the matches with Amber when she comes in, the matches with you can do Statlander because Ruby can do either thing. Statlander can play heel or face no matter. Layla Hirsch, she's really good in the ring. I would love that match. That's a great match. You can do Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter's great. You can just do a lot of women. Serena Deeb, that would be a great match. It's just a lot of things you can do with Ruby that can give her that push that she's always needed, and it would just be a great moment for her. So I think Ruby beats Britt at Revolution.
I actually had it opposite. I actually have Ruby getting built up to take the title off of Jade Cargill at Double or Nothing. Rose is the one that's going to beat Britt Baker. I have a feeling that Ruby right now, I understand what the story is. I to a certain extent, I understand why they gave it to Jade. Like I said, because they're high on her and they want to build up the storyline of Ruby Soho chasing the championship as the underdog, come from behind babyface. I get it. But at the same point in time, like we said, she wasn't ready. I have a feeling Ruby's going to go straight for Jade. They're probably going to give it to her, similar to how they gave the title to Nyla Rose after Riho was done with it. And then we could very well be on the verge of Rosa. Obviously, she'll beat Britt Baker when the time is right. I have a feeling they're going to spend these next 2 months building up two people, Rosa and Cargill. Cargill, obviously, we know is a priority, but now Rosa is in a position where she is going to be ranking up the wins, hopefully, and getting into that position where she's going to take the title off of Britt Baker. Afterwards, when Britt Baker inevitably loses that title, I can see her going into an undercard program with Jamie Hayter. Because Jamie Hayter,
Great.
you know that they've been teasing the breakup between Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker. So afterwards, it's the natural progression of things where Jamie Hayter goes off on her own and she's going to feud with Britt Baker, and Britt Baker's going to put over Jamie Hayter with Jamie Hayter in a position to take that next spot in which she could possibly beat Ruby for the TBS Championship. Maybe she goes and feuds with Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's World Championship. It's going to be an interesting scenario to see who takes the title off of Rosa. I think it's going to be Kris Statlander. I think Kris Statlander is going to spend this year working and building herself up to a point where she's going to take that title off of Thunder Rosa probably at Full Gear at the end of the year. Because I see Thunder Rosa winning that title at Revolution. It's going to be an interesting scenario, but the women's division, it's coming along quite nicely. One thing that we need to say, and this is not about Britt, but this is about Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill's already at the top, so to speak. There's really nowhere else to go but down unless she improves. Because you're gonna have Toni Storm coming in. You're gonna have Ember Moon, Athena coming in. You're gonna have Nixon Newell, Tegan Knox. She's gonna be coming in. So when all of these women come in, we could very well have Taya Valkyrie come in. Who knows? But if all of these women are coming in, Jade Cargill, once she loses that TBS championship, she's gonna be knocked down a few pegs, and she could very well not get a prime spot on television until like 2-3 years down the line, until she really improves and gets better in the ring and gets her timing better. So that right there is something that we have to take into consideration. But with the new women coming in, it's going to be very interesting to see how the women's division continues to grow and evolve, because it's continuing to grow and evolve. It's the best it's ever been, and it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. But with Britt Baker and Riho, it's going to be a very interesting scenario. I do like the unpredictability. That AEW has right now, because wherever they go, you know it's going to end up in a very good feud. It's going to end up being a very good match. It's going to end up being something to invest in. It's going to end up being something in which a star is going to be created in some way, shape, or form. So we'll have to see how that how that works, how it works itself out, what goes down in the future. Revolution is going to be a big show. Revolution is going to be a big show. And I actually hope that they do get some stuff together and get themselves together for the Battle of the Belts. Last thing before we sign off, what do you think is going to happen with these other specials? Do you think that they're going to have different names, or do you think it's going to be a quarterly Battle of the Belts event?
I think they're going to change them up. I feel like the ones that I feel like Winter is coming. I feel like that's a mainstay. I feel like that's going to be a mainstay. Fight of the Fallen. I feel like that's going to be a mainstay. It's another one I'm missing.
Fighter Fest.
Fire Fest. That's a mainstay. But I feel like the other ones you can change them up because they're important, but they're not that important. You know what I'm saying? So like Battle of the Belts, I feel like this is the one time we're going to see it. I feel like next year it'll probably be something different. Bloody Guts, that might be a mainstay. I don't know because that's not a every year type of match. That's a match that comes out when it's needed. But I feel like it's going to be called up for the Bucks and the UE, which they call it the pentagram.
Paragon. The Paragon. I like it. I don't know about you. I like it.
I like it. I just need to hear Justin Roberts say that I probably love it. I got to hear Adam Cole say it. I got to see the design. I don't like the design.
I mean, Justin Roberts can make anything sound good.
Exactly. So, but I don't like the design. The design was kind of iffy, but I just got to see it on a T-shirt. Maybe I don't know. But the design was not appealing to me. But yeah, I don't. It's really hard to say. I feel like they're gonna change it up every year just because it's different stuff they can do.
I feel as though Battle of the Belts is going to be a January thing, and then they'll probably and then they'll do new names. They'll probably put Fighter Fest as a special. They'll probably put Fight for the Fallen as a special. One thing that everyone's going to be keeping an eye out is when they go 2 hours. Do you think that they go 2 hours by the end of the year, or do you think that by next year they'll all be 2 hour specials?
I think by next year, I think you have to ease the fans into it. And I feel you have to get more talent in, and talent is definitely coming in. I feel like next year when you go 2 hours, because that's when you have more talent to do more stuff, and you have to put more talent on TV. And talking about more talent coming in, you was talking about the women's division earlier.
Yes.
Well, a lot of women coming in. Do you think this would be a big year for the big women signing for AEW instead of the men? Because I feel like Keith Lee, he's already coming in. He's wrapped up. I feel like Wyndham, he's wrapped up. He's coming in. Jeff, we know he's coming in. I'm still iffy on Johnny, but if they already have the show booked around him, that means he's already in. But with this year and next year, you have, like you said, you have Amber Moon coming. You have Tegan Knox coming.
Tony Storm.
I feel like Deonna Purrazzo. I feel like she's somebody who should be coming over. Jordan Grace, her contract's coming to an end. Tessa Blanchard, she only signed a 1 year deal. And people don't realize that. She's only signed a 1 year deal. So she keeps her nose clean and people start to forgive her. That's a woman coming in. Charlotte, I hear she's hated backstage by almost everybody. I
would not be surprised to see Charlotte in there. I honestly wouldn't. But here's the thing you have to remember. The one thing you got to remember is this. Charlotte Flair, she's very, very, very egotistical. And listen, I know everyone's got an ego. Everyone in AEW's got an ego, but the difference between AEW people having the egos is they put their egos aside for the greater good of business. I'm not sure if Tony Khan would want to work with someone like that if she doesn't put her ego aside. If she does, then yeah, by all means, she'll be a big, big player in that women's division. We'll see how it plays out, but Charlotte Flair, I wouldn't be surprised. It all depends on what happens this year. This is going to be a very telling year.
Yeah, this is what I think what happens with Charlotte. I'm not a Charlotte stan, people like that.
Neither am I.
Yeah,
Neither am I.
like people who say Charlotte do no wrong. I think Charlotte does her wrong. I've came to you and said I think Charlotte do her wrong, but I'm not a Charlotte Flair hater who just hate on every move she does. You know me, I talk good on Charlotte if I think Charlotte's doing good. I don't care. You know me. I voice how I honestly feel. I don't play roles. I think what happens with Charlotte is she speaks to management how she wants the show, how she wants to be booked, or how she wants it to go, and they always turn her down, and she is doing what they want her to do, and she doesn't have no enjoyment in doing that. So she's just irritated. Because think about it, if you had a job all day and none of your ideas are being heard, none of your ideas are being planned on TV, you just doing this bullshit feud every other day, then you got to lose the title, then you go back and win the title, then you lose the title, then you back win it. It's no substance to anything. She's just going to work and doing what she's told. I feel like that could be a reason why she's like nonchalant and just like, bro, I don't care, because she's not doing anything important if you really look at it. But if she goes over to somewhere where her ideas are heard and she's actually doing stuff of importance and she's made a big deal, I feel like her ego would go a little bit smaller, because all she wants is just for her ideas to be heard, which that's everybody. If you have a job and you think, oh, well, I could be doing this instead to be helping the company or help myself, you will voice that to your boss. And if you just keep getting turned down, and you're just coming to work doing what you're told and just going home, you just like, I don't really care about anything. You know what I'm saying?
No.
That's just my
I
opinion on
get
her.
that. No. Trust me, I get that. So that could very well happen. We don't know.
Yeah,
Again,
we
like
don't
I
know
said,
anything. We on the outside looking in, judging a person that we don't know anything about. Like we don't know. Like yeah, we get told sometimes she's a bitch backstage, but if I'm backstage, if I'm in this company doing nothing, and I can't get any of my ideas over, and I'm just doing some bullshit every week. I don't like Kevin Owens. He was told that he was backstage with a nonchalant attitude and didn't care about anything, because guess what? He wasn't doing nothing. His ideas wasn't being heard. He was just backstage doing what he was told and then go home. Like nobody likes that working environment. That's I wouldn't even want to come to work. Like that's why Tony Storm left. She said she hated the working environment. Like I just feel like it's just a bad working environment that is making her like this. And I feel like in a good working environment, when your ideas are heard and actually encouraged to give, and you're made a big deal, because Shirley's a big deal. If she's made a big deal, then I feel like she'd be a little bit more over to putting people over.
what's going to be interesting is how everything works out, because I have a feeling that we're going to get Sasha and Charlotte at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's title. We're going to see Sasha inevitably take the title off of Charlotte. It could very well happen. I'm not sure where Charlotte goes from there. I'm not sure if they do have Charlotte inevitably break her father's record. I don't know. But before we sign off, Tessa Blanchard, you mentioned, she only signed a 1-year deal with Women of Wrestling, that you said. I was actually unaware of this. Do you think that they're probably signing her only to a 1-year deal to see how things work out as far as the whole promotion goes before they decide to keep her around? Maybe it's on the company, because they're not really looking to capitalize completely on Tessa. If that was the case, they would have signed her for 3 years. Maybe it's because of the fact that she has so much heat surrounding her because of these allegations. Now, here's the thing. I don't believe them, but in my eyes, it's irrelevant what I think, because at the end of the day, the heat's become so bad that they can't really, like, she can't really ignore it. Whether these allegations are true or not, and we don't know whether they're true or not, but it's just become so bad that there's really nothing left to do. If she did do them, then obviously, yeah, go out of your way to privately and publicly apologize. If she didn't do them, make the public apology anyway, so that way, at least some of the heat will be taken off of you. But I can absolutely see Tessa Blanchard being a woman that a lot of people keep their eyes on, and potentially we see Tessa Blanchard, she could very well leave after the first year of Women of Wrestling. Maybe Tony Khan is keeping an eye on what's going on with Tessa Blanchard and Women of Wrestling, simply because of the fact that he wants to see how well she does in Women of Wrestling and how well the promotion does with Tessa as the face of it, before he inevitably goes out of his way to try and sign her. it's a very interesting scenario. There's a lot of things that we're going to have to keep an eye on. There's a lot of moving parts in the industry right now, and it's going to be a very, very interesting year for the AEW women's division as a whole. So that's definitely something that we're all going to keep an eye on. But
Yeah, because
that
like you said, like when she got signed to that 1 year contract, people didn't get like, why would they sign her? Oh my God, I can't believe they signed this woman. I don't think they signed her to a 1 year. I think Tessa signed herself to a 1 year deal. Like they wanted to sign each other, but I feel like it helps both parties. Like think about it like this, right? It's a new company. Tessa is a great wrestler. I don't care how you brace it. She's great at what she
yes,
does,
one
and
of the
she
best.
has everybody's attention on her. So people are going to tune in to see what she's doing and how she's operating. They're going to be looking at every little backstage conflict, every little backstage employee, how's working with Tessa, how's working with Tessa, how's working with Tessa. I feel like Tessa, whoever's managing her needs a raise. They're very smart because Tony Khan wants to sign Tessa. It's no secret. People say he doesn't. He wants to stay away from. I don't believe that. She's great. She has women's champion written all over her, and you want her in your company. But with all this heat, you don't know how it will and with AEW, like I've told you multiple times, they're a company that's under the spotlight constantly under the spotlight. Every little thing they do is blowed up into proportion, and it's going to either be a great deal or a bad deal. There's no in between. It's no, oh, this is decent. It's either horrible or bad.
Yes,
So if Tessa
yes.
gets signed, it's going to be automatically bad. And even the people who saying this is a good signing, the majority is going to say bad. So it's going to be a failed signing, and nothing she does is going to be over ever. So I feel like she's going to do this test run with Ralph for a year, and she's going to get her name value good again. Because if her name value is good again, and she's giving great matches, people like, hey, she's a blast to work with. She's a blast to work with. Tony Khan had all the right now to go out there and sign her and throw her a major deal. All the rights. And if she does that and she's over and she's giving great matches when she comes over, she's automatically a top woman. Automatically a top woman. Like she can go out there in the pay-per-view and walk out and look Britt dead in her face, Ruby dead in her face, or Rosa dead in her face, and we're like, yup, this is my pay-per-view match. Yup, Tessa's winning. Yup, I love this. This is great. Easily. All she has to do is get her name value good again. And I think this is what this 1 year deal is going to do for her.
It's definitely going to be an interesting scenario. So we're everyone's going to keep an eye on that. But ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the rundown for AEW Battle of the Belts. We discussed a lot of different topics. I'd like to thank each and every single one of you for tuning in. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. Stevie, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to come on my channel, talk some wrestling. Hopefully we should have a decent show tomorrow. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. Excuse me. One more time. Let me hear it. Where can we find you on social media?
Twitter, Lil Stevie 317. I don't tweet, but you can follow me because I might throw out a rare tweet that you might love to see. And Instagram, you want to see my beautiful face all over the internet, which I know you do. Come on, I know you do. It's King_Seth3. And all the men out there, block me from your women's Instagram accounts because they probably want me. Just putting that out there.
You fucking sly dog. You sly dog. This is why I had you on the show. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. We got the LFU tomorrow. We're going to be discussing Triple H and his team being forcefully removed from power and fired. We're going to talk about the plans for Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns going into WrestleMania. And we're also talking about Big E being underutilized as WWE Champion. That's going down tomorrow. And then on Sunday at 2, my man B-Mac of the Midwest Marks podcast, he's going to be joining me right here on the channel to dissect everything that went down at AEW Battle of the Belts 2022. He's Lil Stevie. I'm DJ Storms. This has been The Rundown, and we will catch you tweeting tonight live for SmackDown and Rampage.